Hi guys, welcome back with another YouTube video. But today's title, today's video is gonna be the story behind my right arm. What happened to my right arm? I don't think I've shared this anywhere. So you're gonna find out what happened to my right arm and how Jesus healed me. Before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn on the little notification bell to get notified every time I post. So let's get started. So to start off, I broke my arm at the age of 4. I was so young, and I'm gonna go through how it happened. So I was 4 years old. Let's backtrack a little. My dad, he has always, since I was 1, 2, 3 years old, tried to buy me dolls like Dora and these other dolls. I never liked dolls. I would always grab them by the hair and just like stroll them all around the house. I never liked them. Why? I just didn't. But then after my dad, that was like his chance to show me soccer, because he was like, okay, she doesn't like dolls, which is kind of weird. All girls like dolls, but it wasn't like all the girls, right? So my dad showed me the little soccer ball, and I fell in love with that soccer ball. And for my dad, he was excited. He was happy that one of his girls liked soccer. So then, before I was 4 years old, I was already in love with soccer, learning how to kick the ball, passing the ball correctly. My dad was like my coach. And this one day, we go to my high school. At the time, that wasn't my high school yet; it was a middle school. But I live in front of my high school currently now, so I just have to cross the street and I'm there. So at that time, we did the same thing, and then we we're at the school now. We're walking, and I remember it was my siblings and this other friend of ours. We just want to go play because there wasn't no park near us besides the Sun Valley Park. But we went there, and we all had our balls. My mom had all the snacks and goodies. And then after, we're just so excited, right? So immediately as we reach the grass area, because you gotta go through the parking lot or whatever, and immediately as we reach it, we just start kicking the ball like crazy. We just start kicking it, and we all just start running and get the ball, get the person who has the ball. Now, I think my brother had the ball. Now I'm running to get my brother. I'm just running. And this is when it happened, and it happened in an instant. So I'm running, and bam, I tripped on something. Most likely it was a big hole. So I tripped on it, and my right arm was like I put so much pressure on it. But to this day, I can't remember how did that happen, right? So I tripped, but all I could tell my mom, like, maybe I put my entire weight on my right arm, and that's what caused it to break. Immediately as I did that, I don't remember hearing a crack or anything, but I just fell like that. And then when I got up, my right arm was like, you know how when like I could bend it, but it was so like it felt like jello. In other words, it just felt like so wobbly, and and I was just tearing up, and my siblings had no idea. And then these ladies who were just, I believe they were like practicing there, they picked me up and they just took me to my mom, and then my arm was just like that. But I kid you not, it felt like jello. Like I didn't feel it. It just felt weird. And then as they told my mom just drops all the snacks she was setting up and runs to get me, and then calls my siblings and wraps a t-shirt around my arm, and we headed back home. And I was just like just kind of crying, not like in such a, in awe or anything, but just like tearing up. And then we call my dad. He comes, we go to the hospital. They have us wait, how hospitals are. And that's when they do x-rays on me. And the doctor shows us. For some reason, I never knew how to read x-rays, but this time I did it. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, and he shows us, he's like, you see this bone right here? And you could tell like the bone was just completely broken. He referred it to us as if when you break a pencil or you break some thing and you have like half of one thing here, half of the other thing. That was my bone. It broke. It wasn't dislocated, it wasn't twisted, it wasn't fractured. No, it was broken. Something you don't want to hear, right? And I saw and I noticed, oh yeah, it is, and I was 4 years old. I was so little, and this had occurred. And then after, he was like, we're gonna have to do surgery on her. So I remember they just gave me like this little cast, and I just had my arm here so I won't like move it around much. And I remember just thinking in my mind, at that point, soccer didn't cross my mind. I was just concerned about my arm. But let's fast forward. So then the day comes where I have to get surgery. And it was just my dad and I, because my siblings had school, so I had to miss pre-K probably a good weeks. And then I remember we go do the surgery, and it happened so quick, the surgery. I remember I just slept. I wake up and I look at my arm and I just see the scar. I didn't have this scar. I don't know if this scar right here before. And I just, I wake up and that's all I saw. And I was like, okay, I guess surgery is done. And my dad shows up at breakfast, and it was just so quick. And then the doctor just, they did something, right? They did surgery. But I remember the doctor ahead of time had told my mom, if the surgery doesn't go well, the high chances of your daughter's arm to grow the same length as her right arm are very low. Chances are not high, they're very low. That her right arm could stay shorter than her left arm. Right, so my mom just started, she prayed, she called family, friends, and everyone was just praying that my bone was gonna grow. Because I went through the surgery, but that didn't mean it was gonna grow, But they just did it anyways. And I remember one pain I did go through. I have this other little scar right here. I don't know what they're called. I didn't ask, but they were just some like, those TV, back in the day when you used to have like an old TV, not like now, or I don't even know if flat screens have these. It's like blue, white, and red. These like cables that go back there. Well, it looked like I had one of these, but they weren't blue, white, or red. They were like brownish, yellowish kind of color, and he had it connected somehow to my bone or something. I don't remember at the time. I probably asked, but I forgot what exactly was that doing to my bone or something. Holding something up in there. And then I remember I came back home and I had a cast now. Now he gave me a cast so I won't move my arm, and it was just so, it was hard, solid. And I go back to school, and then everyone's signing my little cast, And I remember at the time I had to learn how to rub my left hand. So I was learning how to rub my left hand. It was, But the point I want to get to is, after when I go back to the hospital, or not even, I forgot what this place was, but I go back to see the doctor, and my mom's praying, when he removes the cast, he tells me to go like this, right, to see if they're, and I go like that, and they were at the same length. No, my right arm wasn't shorter than my left arm. They were at the same length. And I remember this one thing he said. It was like, wow, it's a miracle. Your bone grew. And I think weeks it grew. And at that moment, that's when my mom reminded me. She was like, Jesus healed you. He healed your bone. Your bone grew, and it grew fine. Because let's just say my right arm would have stayed shorter than my left arm, I wouldn't be able to play soccer. And my mom, after that point, she got mad at me that I was playing soccer. She's like, you're no longer ever in your life again gonna touch that ball. Well, guess what I did? As soon as I recovered, I rested, I went back to playing with that ball. And that's when I just grew such passion. It has just gained more for soccer because of that moment and that day that happened when I broke my arm. It could have all been gone, taken away. And then now every time I'm on that field, I give Jesus all the honor and glory, whether we win and lose, because he healed my arm. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be playing. I wouldn't be playing at all. That's why I put him first. I seek him first before soccer, because he healed my arm. And instead of being in fear of playing soccer, no, I ran and went ahead to go play. And my mom was always scared that somebody was going to break it again. Her mom had that fear of what if it breaks again. I didn't even think about it. I just went. And I wish I would have done the same thing with swimming. But with swimming, I got afraid and I didn't go on. But that's something I need to accomplish, and I will accomplish. But anyways, but yeah, Jesus healed my arm. I look at myself and I'm like, I am a living miracle. I saw how my bone was through that x-ray, and then saw it again, and they grew. And it was only Jesus who could have done that. Because the doctor, if it was the doctor, he told me, you're not going to play soccer ever again. But we didn't go about what the doctor said. We prayed, and Jesus healed me. And I don't take not one moment I have on that field with my teammates for granted, because I knew at one point it could have been all gone. And I put Jesus first in all I did, because it was him who healed my arm. And I look at it, and I remember before I would look at my scar, and it was like, I didn't want to, I was always trying to hide it. And now I look at it and I'm like, no, it reminds me that Jesus heals. He can heal anybody. If he rose a man from the dead, if he healed the blind, if he healed, just so many people, I was like, he healed me. And this is a story I can tell others and get them to know Jesus, because Jesus was the only one, and he healed my arm. And now I play, I body the girls out, and I have no thought of breaking it. Nothing crosses my mind that I'm going to break it again. But it was just a tremendous moment that takes me back, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe that happened. And I think people have noticed but never asked, but that's the story behind my right arm. And I'm a living miracle. That's all I can say. And that Jesus heals. He can heal you from whatever you're going through, whatever it may be. But to me, that's what reminds me, when I'm playing soccer, I have the ball, I'm like, it was Jesus. It wasn't the doctor, it wasn't anybody else. Because if I believe what the doctor said, my arm would never grew. He told me, don't play soccer ever again. And if I could go back and tell him, hey doctor, I'm here playing soccer, and I've been playing for practically almost 15 years, and I haven't broken a bone. And it's not because I get lucky. It's that Jesus watches over me and protects me. But that's the story behind my right arm. But I want to tell you today that Jesus can heal anybody. Jesus can heal you from your depression, from your anxiety, from whatever you're going through. Just gotta ask him. And for my arm, I don't know, I remember even after I broke it, this time I just felt so much more strength in it. I would throw the football like far as crazy. I'm like, whoa, what they put in here. But it reminds me of just how great Jesus is, and how he could still heal. He can heal anybody. Some people don't believe in healing, but I do, because I saw it in my own life. I saw it in my dad's life. I saw it in my siblings, and each and every one of their lives. I saw it in my mom's life. I saw it. So I believe. But thank you for watching today's YouTube video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next video to come.